What's up, champ?
Yeah, just I was in Colombia, which was awesome. It was so great.
So
Crazy
cool.
flying. The
Were you
weather
guys
was
doing
great. Paragliding.
nice?
All the students made it back. That's always a bonus.
No fatalities?
No, no one even got injured. No scrapes even. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Voida, tell me about your Golden Valley experience. Like, how old were you when you came to Golden Valley?
So I grew up right on Beverly Avenue between Highway 55 and Glenwood, probably 2 blocks from Worth Lake. I came here in 68, so I was like 5 years old. So my first memories really were nursery school, and Jamie Bonander lived right next to the nursery school. It was in someone lady's basement in their house. So that's how I met Jamie and kind of neighborhood kids. And then went to Meadowbrook Elementary and up to Golden Valley. And the whole thing from Meadowbrook through Golden Valley was so intimate.
So, what was the house address there on Beverly?
4205 Beverly Avenue. So
And so,
I lived like a yard over from Mike McGreevy. Charlie Bell later on was a block away, moved in. Peterson, which was older than us. Noble lived. We had like the Jardines, Janine Brown.
and so you were really close to Theodore Worth too, like this
Yeah,
huge wooded.
that was my playground.
You have one sister, right? So she was a baby when you moved to Golden Valley, right?
No,
Or had she even been born yet?
she was conceived here the year we moved here.
Oh, okay,
Freedom,
cool.
mom and dad. Yay, we're free in America. Bang bang. Oh, a year later, it's
All right. So just as much as you want to talk about it, brief or long or whatever, where is your family from?
oh, Prague, right?
Prague, Czechoslovakia.
Yep. Now it's Czech Republic, but it used to be Czechoslovakia. Soviets came in to take over in 68. And my dad was like, oh, no, not a communism. The year before he came to visit, he was already doing genetics and like oral pathology. And he came to visit the U a year before, University of Minnesota. So when Russians came in, the only place he thought he's like, we're leaving. I'm not having my kid grow under communist rule. So the only place he knew he could get a job was here in Minnesota. So that's how we ended up in Golden Valley.
And
And
what was the move?
actually, right like a block from the school up on the hill, like east of the school, past the tennis courts, up on the hill lived Robert Gorlin. He was uh, head of genetic department for the University of Minnesota, like a genius, like renowned
Wow.
in the world. Everyone knew him. And Marilyn Gorlin was his wife, and she was huge into politics. And he was head of genetics department, and he was controlled whether my dad was hired, and that's who he met the year before. And he's like, absolutely. And all these concerns is like, we couldn't get a visa, wait 3 months or a half a year for a visa. And Gorland called Mondale, said, get this guy over here. Mondale actually pushed our visa. So we got here and then lived in Gorland's basement till he said, you buy this house down there on in Beverly Avenue, and we'll go to the bank and get a loan for you. He helped my dad and our family just like all the way.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's like how we started in Golden Valley.
Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing.
And you told me some stories about what it was like leaving.
Yeah. Driving through the checkpoint, right? Shooting like that was, they're knowing the Russians come in. Russians came through the street in tanks. Czech army just raises their hand. There's no fight. There's no way. And before they can make, secure borders fully, you could get out. Then like later, no, huge steel barriers with guards everywhere and checking mail and all kind. It got really full communism.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was like took whatever you could from the apartment, grab your wife, your kid, throw what you can in the car, and know you're never coming back. Leave everybody behind. brutal for my parents.
Yeah. Brave.
Yeah,
Brave and
right.
brutal.
Ooh,
Yeah.
unknown with a kid.
Yeah. Now, you told me at Shakey's Pizza Parlor, and I don't know if you were just spinning a tale, and if you were, that's cool. But you said that you showed us me a scar on your wrist, and you're like, "That's
Yeah,
where a bullet went through my
my
wrist."
dad hit the car, me and my dad in the neck.
And I remember you said if it hadn't gone through my wrist, I mean, think about it, it probably could have killed my dad.
It was stuck in the back of his neck and not all the way through or in his trachea or whatever. I don't know the complete medical details, but enough that the car and maybe me and whatever else it hit. He's still got the picture that the bullet, we had like a glass frame picture that was packed tight together and the bullet went through that. And then they have that frame with the colored glass painting with it shattered. It's one of those
You
crazy stories you like see on movies that but it
Yeah,
happens to millions of people and worse,
yeah,
through the world in every country
yeah,
that, other than us, kind of.
yeah. So your dad was like one of I mean, I feel like there was a lot of professors, a lot of University of Minnesota professors or other colleges. It seemed like there was a decent amount of professors in our community. I'm trying to remember who else, but maybe that's just an impression I have.
Super intelligent, super artistic, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
arts, drama, and movie making, and like my
Professor.
mom was designing the costumes at the Guthrie, while my dad's a genetic professor. Alberto Rosai's dad was super intelligent. Goldstein's dad was some huge bigwig, like Einstein-y, but like you said, like a lot of the parents were very intelligent. And so we were pretty good off. Like everyone had a yard, everyone had two cars almost, right? You got to think about it. They were making everyone, intelligent parents were making money, right? Legally.
Yeah, and it
That's
wasn't.
great.
So it was like a lot of scientists, a lot of doctors, a lot of professors, a lot of probably some lawyers, maybe
Yeah,
some business people too, and everything. But it wasn't like huge captains of industry. It was like professional class.
right.
Was kind of like the vibe. But then there was also room for, like the kid whose mom is a single mom and teaches ballroom dance and referees volleyball at night while she
Yep,
finds, some job at a travel agency during the day. That's my mom.
yep.
And then eventually at a grain buying company. And Steve Towler's, and his dad, I think were together alone in that apartment, and Constantine. I think there was a pretty wide a variety of socioeconomic kind of
Yeah, for
background.
sure. Right.
Um, so what do you think about when you think about Meadowbrook, if anything? Do you remember like any teachers stand out or any moments or anything?
Yeah, like the beginning teachers, your first grade, through third, maybe right there, were very impactful. I think it was Miss Waterman, and then I think it was maybe Anderson or Sorensen in third grade, something like that. I just remember the kindness. Yeah, but I was already medicated
Yeah.
by then. I was already taking ADHD medicine, like the bad stuff. What was it called back then? Ritalin every day after
Well, you
lunch.
had
I
reason
went,
to be a little.
oh yeah, yeah. They had to mellow me out. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, let's think about the trauma a kid, right? Like, okay, we're throwing you this car, grandma, grandpa, everyone you know, whoa, gone. Yeah, new country.
Yeah.
Don't speak the language, don't understand. The only people I can hold on to is mom and dad because everything else is foreign. You get to hear finally Golden Valley still. I meet kids, they're brutal. Kids with accent don't speak English. You for sure. I don't remember a lot, but a lot was not nice. Right, so for sure there's some impact, and wanting to belong, so I'm doing things that I normally wouldn't to belong, right? So who knows? Do they know what ADHD and this hypertension stems from? Is it from trauma or is it just your chemical buildup? Right.
Right. Right. But that was, I mean, you were on the cutting edge of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's, very common, but then I think that was probably pretty uncommon to get the diagnosis and get the treatment.
Yeah, and all they had was Ritalin, right? And that was no good. My dad knew it because he's like, "Oh, he comes home." Like usually what I did, and I'd come and home from school and run outside and play and do all kinds of shit. And after I did Ritalin, I'd come home and like not do anything, maybe watch some Gilligan's Island. But he's like, it took the life out of my kid. He didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were, man, you always, I mean, I don't know if well, I don't remember the Ritalin you. I just remember the like, Voida is ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's hit 10 or 11 and let's just go. And in the best possible way. I mean, it was just like, um, anything else from Meadowbrook that you'd want to kind of give a shout out or a complaint or your time to register your complaints against Meadowbrook.
No, I mean, I remember like the playground, real fun. I'd get in trouble, but of course I deserved it for either teasing or being out of hand.
And then we go to middle school. Um, and
So that remember us starting to grow up a little bit. I remember people that like would sell. Remember everlasting gobstoppers? We'd buy them from kids in the locker room, in the lockers
right.
for a quarter. But if we went up to Bridgman's up there, we could buy 4 of them for a quarter, right? And
And,
I remember totally going, "Well, wow, this guy's making it because he's getting a bunch. He's taking the time of getting a bunch. I could do that, but I'm not going to. But he can go get a bunch, and he's making money to go buy more to make more money."
when and then was it in middle school years when you went away with like for a family? Your dad got relocated or something for a year or something like that.
Yeah, 8th grade.
8th grade. Okay.
Yeah. So I made it to 8th grade with like Alberto and Fosgen. That was my grade.
Yeah, you were in the McGreevy, Foston,
Yeah.
Alberto, East,
Yeah.
all those guys,
Yeah.
Paisner.
Right. Yeah.
Funny the names that pop into your head.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then
So
what happened? What happened? Why did you have to, why'd you leave?
oh, so we went to Japan for a year. My dad went to help do genetic program. It was awesome. I loved it. Japan was great. I lived Japanese style. I mean, that's a whole nother story. But when I came back, I took 8th again. So I dropped into your grade, right?
Yep.
What?
And we were
So,
like, what's why is Void in our grade now? He's a
right?
terror.
I know everyone was like, I know everyone freaked out. So the thing was, I stayed mostly friends with, they're in the same, right? So I didn't have class with them, but I stayed friends with everyone else, right? And I kind of made friends with, the normal grade through class and stuff. It just kind of happened because I wasn't, I was outgoing and friendly and everything, but like you said, I was out of hand. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Voida," like they're not going to come up to me and be like, "Hey, you want to be friends?" Right?
I dug what I saw in Voida, but I like a little excitement and
Yeah,
I
but you
remember,
got to know me.
yeah.
It's different when you get to know me. Oh yeah, he's out of hand, but he's safe. You just got to know him.
Well, and I remember feeling for you when you came back and did 8th grade again. First of all, it's like you have to do 8th grade again, which can feel like a little bit of like a womp womp,
Right?
but it totally made sense. But I remember like feeling for you a little bit, being like, this must be really hard, to suddenly like all my friends are now in 9th grade and I'm in 8th grade with these people, you
Yeah.
know.
Very
And
hardly.
and
Yeah.
I don't remember you being, you could have been a real dick about it and really alienated yourself. And I don't think that's what you did. I think you were, you were part of our class.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like normal. I meet the friends in the classrooms that I'm in, but socialize still mostly with my old grade.
Yeah.
normal, like nothing. Nothing I could do.
And I think I feel like we weren't like running buddies in junior high or even maybe high school as much as college is when we really started to hang out. Because I think you were really tight with Fao, and then when I became friends with Fao, I got closer to you. Fao is
Yeah.
Faustian.
Yep. And Alberto.
Yeah.
And like,
And Alberto, you were kind of tight with Alberto.
oh yeah, through
Yeah.
skiing.
That was kind of a crew we had there for a minute. And you, Fao, and Alberto were kind of a crew that was pretty fun. I remember going ski. Actually, yeah, in high school, I remember going skiing. I remember one particular time at Wild
Oh, you
Mountain
got the
that
whole.
did not end well
I
for me.
remember that. I still
Um,
closed my eyes, and I remember you cruising down the right side and all losing it, and boom, into the kernels head first. And it kept skiing. I'm like, oh, he's not okay. Oh, he's not getting up. Oh, Joey White. We get up there and oh, he's lying out the right side of his head.
I remember it was you or Fao, but I think it was you where I saw your eyes like pop out of your heads and
Because
I
it
could feel it.
moved.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's like my head is exploding.
It's growing. It's moving. Look at his horn.
So I think,
Fun.
there was,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, by the time I got to Wild Mountain, I was, I think there was some Jack Daniels and definitely some marijuana.
we're always partying up there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that icy Minnesota
Yeah.
crappy snow and it was like I think it was like a lot of man-made snow. It was cold enough, but not real snow. And
Yeah.
so it was like basically like an ice tray,
Yeah.
freezer along the sides.
Yeah.
That's where I found myself. That was in high school. We were running around in high school. And high school for us was, I mean, after ninth grade, we went to Hopkins Lindbergh.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Yeah. Obviously, a huge change. Just the size of the school, right, was so much bigger. And then all the people. I just remember so many people, which made all our friends thinned out. Like it's harder to find our groups. But yeah, as we rolled in together and got in our classes and did our extracurricular activities and sports, we found the people that we connected with, again, and made friends. There's more people to make friends with. Uh, but not again, it's a shorter time and we're more grown up. Meadowbrook and Golden Valley, that same group grew up together through all that time, which is way more bonding than 2 years in high school. Right?
Yeah.
I made
Yeah.
great friends in high school. Holy moly. Look at how many laughs. I mean, tons. So did you. We had great groups of friends in Hopkins.
The Hopkins Lindbergh kids were I didn't meet the Eisenhower kids because I left, but the Hopkins Lindbergh kids were the best and so welcoming. And I never felt, I felt intimidated by the
Yeah.
sheer size and sort of like the way when you were talking about it, you were talking about it's like we're like particles that kind of like I can't see them. They're there and then
Right?
and there's all these new people. It was exciting and scary and but again, like I just shout out to the Hopkins Lindbergh kids because they were just, really, really good kids, really sweet kids.
Yeah.
What was it? Now
Troublemakers in every school. Look at we had it. They had
I became one of the troublemakers by the time I left Lindbergh. My claim to fame, I think at the end of sophomore or junior year, I forget which one, was lighting off firecrackers in the school and being chased. Me and Perlick are like running for our lives, being chased by some assistant principal whose name I forget. And then my mother was so ashamed because we had to go to like arson class or like a class for pyromaniacs.
yeah, right.
And I kept telling my mom, I'm like, "I'm not a pyromaniac. I'm really not. It was just a one-off. Like, I just,
I'm denying.
um, what was it like? So I moved after 11th grade out east, and you were there for senior year with Eisenhower, right? When it became Hopkins High, correct?
Yep, yep.
What was that like?
It's nothing changed much, just like a smaller group came in. I mean, I didn't really notice any change.
But it went from like 300 kids per graduating class to like 600, right? Or no?
Graduation class was huge, right? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
But
again, it was the last year again, so what I got was when people were going up and getting their diplomas on the stage from our class, our grade. I didn't recognize them. Some of them, like, who is that guy? I've never seen him. Have I? Like, that's how many people, right? Like,
yeah,
you couldn't get to know everyone or know everyone.
yeah. Which again might have been part of the charm or the of Golden Valley is like at your graduation, you would, even if you weren't friends with everybody, you knew everybody. You knew, like, not just their face. You could put a face with a name, and you also kind of knew their, what their personality was like or whatever. Like
Totally.
it was like one big extended family, I think.
Yeah, you're either going to cheer for him or boo, right? But not like silence, like you don't know the guy.
Um, all right, I feel like I wanna talk about, or if you want to talk about, I feel like we should talk about Charlie Bell a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, there was a I don't know if you're how active you are on Facebook. I don't think you're very active on Facebook, but there was a post several years ago where, it was like Facebook was just getting going, and then there was this Golden Valley High School all grades Facebook group, which is really fun and really cool because it's like people that graduated in the first graduating class up until, our time and in between. And everybody was talking about how wonderful it was. And then somebody, I can't remember who, was like, well, it wasn't great for everybody. Like, I had my struggles with this, that, and the other thing. And they were talking about it. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're right. Like, we don't know. And then it was like, it wasn't great for Charlie Bell, obviously. Anyways, you grew up with Charlie, right? And,
Yeah. Intimately. Like, I know everything that happened. I mean, everything. Like, it started before he moved here for the kid. Messed up parents, taken away from the parents, given to the aunt and uncle here in Minnesota, right? And that's where he started, which was a block from my house. And he was hyper and liked to do crazy stuff. So we hit it off. We're always running around Worth Park and screwing around, right? Pretty good friends, have our fights too. But zitted red hair. And no matter what school you're going to go to, you're going to get teased because the kids are that age. They don't know the harm they're doing by the words and actions they do to the younger adolescent, right, people. So
Yeah.
our school was no different because we're no different than any other kids. We just maybe had better and more, we just had a better parents maybe and a better schooling system. Like everyone can keep an eye on each other, but the kids still would tease and chase. And, I got chased. Remember that? Like chanting my name, chasing. Luckily, I could run.
You were a good runner.
Yep. So, yeah. So the same thing happened to Charlie. And it just was too much for him, right? It's too much for a
Yeah.
kid when there's no break.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember the first day of school, we'd walk together to school every day. He'd come to my house on the way and we'd walk to school. And it was the first day of school and he was like, he's not going to do it again. He can't go through another year like that. So he shot himself in the basement first day of school.
Mm.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Emily Hamlin wrote something on Charlie when he passed. I don't know if there's a record of it somewhere. It might have been in the yearbook,
Hmm.
Golden Valley yearbook, when there's some writing about Charlie that year for sure. I think Emily wrote it, but
What
it's
year was
an
that?
admittance of teasing, kind of like how our school didn't realize kind of what I said, like, because we're so young, we don't realize what we're doing and the impacts we have. And she wrote something that described that pretty good.
Yeah, I'll find that.
Yeah, that was a harsh one, man.
Any teachers you want to give some love to, or maybe get even the score? Whichever one you want.
Probably apologies to most of the teachers for interrupting a lot, right? Making jokes. Um, just there's a lot of good and screwing around, and like I
Maybe
said, a lot of punishment or a lot of detention that I deserved, but
maybe dip in some Skull or some Copenhagen in science lab where you could
tons of
get
that.
in the same.
No, well, actually, that was not till Hopkins.
Oh, really?
I don't think we started chewing till Hopkins.
No, dude. We used to go to
Yeah,
Spur and get chew before Hopkins, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it was until 10th grade. But I could have sworn in the labs, the science lab at Golden Valley. Well, one thing I
sunflower seed.
remember, I thought it was you with the Bunsen burner where you were like, what? Like just blowtorch.
When he would turn around and write on the board, I'd like raw torch the thing, a huge flame, and I'd turn it back down. And the class would be like, oh, and he'd turn around, the class is freaking out, and I'm just sitting there. Yeah.
Who was that? What teacher was that? Hanson? No, I don't
Oh,
think.
Mr. Jerf.
Was it Jerf? Okay.
You know?
Ah, crazy.
Oh, but that was sunflower seeds. We'd be spitting sunflower seeds in there, and then it'd clog the drains.
Yeah, not good.
What he's pissed at.
Um,
Chew was Hopkins. Everyone chewed in Hopkins.
Everyone chewed at Hopkins.
Yeah, there was no chew in Golden Valley. It was cigarettes and weed. I remember the
Yeah.
door in back by the gym, the burnout door. And that was another thing. No matter who you were, you wouldn't get beat up. Like if you were a jock, you could walk out the back where the burnouts were, right? Or the burnouts could go into the locker room and, all right, whatever. There wasn't like F you,
Right.
right? Like it should have been. Like they're clicky. Well, it should have been a clicky. Like, dude, you're a jock. Get away. We're fries, right?
Right.
I mean, look at Grease. You ever seen the movie Grease?
Yeah.
That's what it should be like. But it
It
wasn't,
wasn't like
bro.
that's what I've been telling everybody, my entire adult life whenever a school comes up and I'll hear people talk about school, and a lot of them it's like a John Hughes movie or Grease or something. And I'm just like, it wasn't like that. You had the freedom to, cross-pollinate and like be, a jock and then be a nerd and be a loser and be a burnout. And you could, like all in the same day.
Yeah, you could be in band and then be in track. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And you
Uh,
wouldn't be shit for it, right? Like,
you also wrestled, right?
yeah, horrible.
You weren't good at it or you didn't like it?
Oh, I both.
And who was your coach?
Oh,
I can tell you if you want.
I remember super stocky guy. I think he taught English or also math. Blonde, super light hair, super stocky, white as hell. Oh, what's his name?
Larry Petrotsky,
Pedrosky. Calm.
right?
I think so. Super calm.
Yep. He was also a special ed teacher.
Yeah. Right.
And he wore he was a 60s, it was the 70s, and he was he had paisley pants.
Yeah.
And he might have had a chain around his neck,
Yep.
and he had he smelled like cologne.
Yeah, he's always dressed nice.
Yeah, he was a piece of work. He was very sweet, and he was constantly recruiting kids for wrestling because he was always having, I think, a hard time, putting a team out there.
Yeah.
So he would come up to you and be like, "You should wrestle." And be like, "No, I shouldn't."
No, like me, I was the smallest in our grade. Remember, I didn't grow till way later. I mean,
Yeah.
Alberta was a little smaller than me, but what? You want me to wrestle? I got killed every time, and the workouts were brutal.
I remember, yeah, I actually went to one. He got me to go to one, and the
Yeah,
practice was like in this dungeon.
right.
No windows, no ventilation, and just padded walls,
Yep.
all over. It was just like
Yeah,
an insane
padded
room.
room.
Yeah, it's a padded room. And it kinda like it freaked me out. And plus I was like, I just wasn't, like, I'm not strong. This is not gonna work for me.
Right.
But you stuck with it.
Yep.
Did you stick with it
I
all the way
tried
through
it out.
Hopkins?
No,
No.
no, no, no. That was winter sports. So Hopkins was skiing
Right.
for sure.
That was one of the bonuses of Hopkins is like we had soccer now and we had skiing,
Hmm.
probably some other things.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big thing. The sports, they had more money for sports. There was more programs, cross country, skiing. They had Nordic.
Oh, right. Did you run cross country all the way through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran track, cross country, any of the running. And then the winter, I did Nordic till it was alpine skiing.
Right. Cool.
That was
Well,
cool.
anything else you wanna touch on before we sign off for now? We can always reconvene at another time. Something
Do
comes up.
you, do you remember any, like, I remember parent meetings at school, but do you remember any parent social gatherings where all the parents and the kids got together in GV?
Um,
Parents' night
I remember, school gatherings and the parents would come,
or
open house.
event?
Well, then yeah, so, like, in elementary school, I do remember there being I forget what we called it, open house, I think, where the
Yeah. Mhm.
and all of a sudden you'd see your friends walking with their parents down the hall, and you'd go, "Okay, yeah, I see a resemblance," or whatever.
Yeah. Or you'd
And
finally meet the parents.
yeah, and that was cool and fun, and then we'd have events even at Meadowbrook K through 4, that sometimes, the parents would come, like, I don't think it was a play or whatever, but I don't remember what it was, but I feel like there were some things that we did like that, and then the parents could always come to the school like, my mom came um, had taught did a demonstration about, working with blind people, teaching them to dance,
Yeah,
and,
they had bring your parent in, like, in the hallway. My mom did tapestry, and someone else's mom had, like, some medical thing, and, like, your parents could come and show what they did, right?
yep, and then in middle school, I remember there being a puppet show out of, like, balsa wood, um, and that's where I met Alberto, and Alberto brought his guitar or something, his electric guitar to school, and I was like, "Whoa," and so I talked to him about that, um and then, of course, there was sports, and there was, like, the famous, um for basketball, boys and girls basketball, there was the teachers' lounge, which became, the parents' lounge after the game, waiting for the kids to shower up and get their street clothes back on. You'd hang out in the teachers' lounge, and they're all, like, smoking and
Yeah.
drinking.
Smoke into the teacher's lounge.
That teachers' lounge must have smelled hor it probably still smells.
Oh, for sure.
We'll have to go to Breck and see if it still smells.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the football games were kinda classic, high
Yeah.
school football games.
Everyone went. I didn't watch the games, but I'd go there to socialize. I just remember being able to go to that and then walk to Bridgman's and walk back to school or walk home. You could walk everywhere in Golden Valley and it was fine.
Yep,
And the parents didn't have to worry.
yep.
I mean, Jesus, we could, uh,
You could
I
cross
could
you could
care.
cross highway you could cro what's now
Yeah.
394 you could
Yeah.
cross Highway 12 on your bike or on
Right.
foot.
Yeah,
Like,
totally. God, crazy. It was a two-way.
it was just yeah, was just a little highway. It was like nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate this.
Oh, that's awesome. It's great talking with you.
It's great talking with you. It's great to be in touch again, right?
Yeah.
Just love it. Love it.
Like I told you the first time I saw you, man, I missed you guys, man. My whole life, I missed you guys. Seriously, I had such great times screwing around and just having fun. Just so many memories. My best memories with friends were with you guys. Once I got older, I had friends, but I can tell you so many wonderful places where I've been that I'm sitting there alone going, God, I wish my friends were here you know,
Yeah.
to see this or be with me or just have fun again and experience. I guess that's just the way it is. You get up or you grow older and it separates, the life goes on, and then you have your kids, and now you go back to remembering and you reconnect maybe with the guys
Yeah.
that are left.
If you're lucky, I think this is probably like a rite of passage. It's like you hit 60 and you're like, where are my childhood friends?
I'm telling you, man, if you're coming this summer, I got to take you up on the paraglider. You will love it.
It's the perfect job for you, the way you describe it. Like, here's where I jump off the cliff. I mean, that's a job for Vojta.
Totally. And like, I love describing it because I can teach you how to do stupid, dangerous stuff safely. It's so fun. It's so fun. Make it safe,
Yeah.
right? Like the reason you don't do it's like, no way, dude, that's sketchy. Yeah, but if you do it safe,
It does it does look fun. Your videos, your Instagram looks very fun, and it does look safe. Looks very safe.
super safe.
Yeah.
All right. You have a
Love
good
you.
night, Joe. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
All right.
Take care, brother.